Hey guys, Big Mike here, and as promised, I'm going to do that Amazon from scratch the first couple months of my setup, and hopefully it helps you guys. What I've noticed from a lot of other YouTubers is you see all these Amazon, how to do Amazon, how to get started on Amazon, and it's usually from guys or people that have been doing Amazon for years or extremely long periods of time, and they kind of start you out where they are, and they don't give you enough of the beginner details of how to really get set up. My goal with this video is to actually show you guys some of the hurdles that I ran into and just kind of make it simpler for you and give you some easy steps to kind of step through on how to get started and show you guys on my screen how I got started. So I'm going to have about 8 key bullet points, and I'll throw those over here and let you guys see what those look like as if you want to try to jump to different areas in the video. And remember, this is a beginner video. It may have some nuggets for people that are veterans that have been doing it for a while, but this is going to be from a pretty much a brand new person wanting to get started on Amazon, and kind of the steps you can take to get started. Some of the last couple, 2 or 3 bullets might be helpful for somebody that's been doing it for a month or two, or maybe even for somebody that has not been ungated or figured out some of the sales milestones yet. So hopefully you guys stick around to the end, and as I go through each thing, definitely leave me a comment in the down low. Hit that subscription button because it really helps the channel out. Let me know what you guys think of the content, and if you have questions or thoughts, I will do another video as I progress through Amazon store setup and sales, and do some more insight on what I've run into, and let you guys see the more veteran type things that I run into. So with that said, I'm going to get started now and show you guys my screen. Let's see here. There we go. All right, so I'm gonna kind of I'll probably move my video around and let you guys kind of see. This is the first thing I would suggest you do to get started. You want to go to this sell.amazon.com/sell.html. If you go to it without the sell.html on the end of the URL, you're not going to actually see this website. It takes you to the actual Amazon Seller Central, I believe. But anyway, this kind of tells you, it's a lot of information. I didn't personally read all this, but this, if you guys go through all this and read it, there's actually a lot of nuggets in here that will probably help you out. So it kind of tells you before you start, consider selling strategy. So if you guys are the type of person that you want to read a lot up front and kind of figure it all out, this is a great place to start. At a minimum, you would want to come here and you can hit here and create a seller account. So anyway, this is kind of your first starting point. Just very first thing to kind of jump out there and read through. The next page, obviously, that it goes to is the beginner's guide. And this is sell.amazon.com/beginners-guide.html. And I'll throw all these links down in the bottom so you guys can see them and go to them on your own time. But just follow along with me here, and then when you finish, you can come back and get the links and go to these different sites. This one has a tremendous amount of information. Again, it takes you to the before you start, takes you to Seller Central, takes you through all the different account setups. One thing I would tell you guys, if you are a sole proprietor, you don't have a company or a C Corp or a S Corp or something like that, you're just doing it on your own as a hobby, or you want to start, don't create a new Amazon account if you already have one. I learned that the bad way. I actually created a new account last year before I was really getting into Amazon, and had about 50 books. Ended up creating a new account and bought the Seller Central Professional, listed an item, and sold a Pokemon book. It was really fast. I made like 20 bucks profit on it. But within a few days, Amazon shut my account down because they saw the tie between my Amazon Prime, my personal Amazon Prime account, and that account, and they have explicit rules. They don't want you to have multiple accounts. Now, if you have a business, you can definitely set up another account through that business, through that address, a company, a phone number, and those kind of things. But if you're on your own, just doing this from start, don't create a new account. You actually have to use your same Amazon Prime account to set this up as a seller account. So it's got this set up here to click here and sign up. One thing you can do is, as you guys can see right here, there's different plans. There's an individual plan, which is what I suggest everybody do. I actually started with this the first 10 or 15 days. When I realized I was going to sell more than 40 items, I jumped over to the professional account. The professional account is $40 a month. It's $39.99. And the reason why you want to go from, you want to stick with individual. Now, it is a little bit more expensive for under 40 items because the Amazon charges you a price per book. And the average price that I've seen for my books that are selling are between $2.75 and $4 per book. Now, that's kind of expensive. And it's actually way more, what I've seen, it seems like it's way more expensive than some of the other fees. But I think the reason why is it's kind of the gate entry. They want you to kind of go through the sales rate, and the storage of the books and everything. If you send them in, is a lot more expensive for them too. So they charge you that base $2.50 to $3.50 fee per sale, but they also charge you a $1 fee per item. So if you know, if you're all in, you've got a ton of inventory, you're ready to go, you could skip the individual and just go straight to professional if you know you're going to sell more than 40 items in a month. Now, that's the key word, is sell. If you don't sell anything, if you list 100 items on Amazon under an individual seller and you don't sell a single thing, you're out no money other than the time and effort it took you to do the listings, and if you bought inventory. So my thought is start small, find a couple books, a couple small things that are simple that you can sell on Amazon. Start with the individual account. And again, when you click sell as an individual, you will log in with your Amazon Prime account or your Amazon account you already have. If you go to professional, same thing, it'll just create a professional account. You'll put in your credit card number and it'll do a monthly subscription of $39.99. So you guys weigh those. I'm not going to tell you which one to do. My suggestion is, if you're trying to start with as low as $0, stick with the individual until you get a few sales under your belt and see if you really like it. I will tell you, it's going to take you a couple months to really work the kinks out, because there's a lot of stuff. There's a lot of detail to Amazon selling that a lot of people don't realize. It's a lot easier to list things typically on Amazon than it is on eBay and Mercari and the other platforms. I can list a book in just, 15 seconds, probably 20 seconds if I'm taking it easy. So now I do a few other things. I track the books and everything, but it's really a quick listing process. Okay, so the next thing we're going to go to is we're actually going to show you how to list an item. So I'm going to jump over. This is kind of what your default Amazon Central page looks like. It's got all this stuff across the top. It tells me the markets. Now, when you set up your account, I would just set it up, whatever's easiest for you. Maybe pick United States and Canada if you're in the US. I picked both those platforms. Right now, that's what I'm sticking with. I may branch out and choose other areas. I just know the shipping. I haven't completely figured out all the shipping setups yet, and how to quantify the shipping and the shipping rules. Shipping rules get pretty expensive, but let's keep it simple. We're going to actually show you how to list an item. So there's multiple places to go. So you can go to catalog, hit add product. You can go into inventory, add product, and then on your phone, if you have the mobile app, you can do it there too. So let's just hit add product. And I'm actually going to just add this book right here. This is Possessing the Gates of the Enemy. And I have no idea what this book is about. But anyway, the easiest thing to do is to scan or enter this UPC code. You can also enter the title, or you can open up the book and go into a couple pages here. And there's usually an ISBN number. Actually, the ISBN on this is also on the bottom. I don't know if you guys can see that. There's a UPC and an ISBN number. But if it's not on the back, or there's a sticker over that, you can also go in the first couple pages and find the ISBN number and type that in. So we're going to enter the ISBN number just for fun here. 08007 9223-8. And I hit enter, and it brings up that book. Okay, so it is Possessing the Gates of the Enemy. So we're going to select a condition. This is not new, but let's assume it's new. And I'm just going to hit new. Actually, it really doesn't matter what you choose right here, unless collectible might be different, because there's limitations on different listings. But trying to keep it real simple, let's say it's either new or used. It really doesn't matter which one you pick here, because this next page is where you ultimately decide. And this is where the beef of listing an item is. The first thing you want to notice is up at the very top. So this sales rank is 825,274. So that means in the last 90 days, that's the ranking of this book on the Amazon platform. I think it's 90 days. It may vary, but anything for me, typically I try to stay anything under like 1.5 million. Most big sellers will tell you they probably try to stay under 500,000. I also have a different, when you're starting out new, if you make a couple dollars per book, you're not making a tremendous amount of profit, but your goal is, guys, keep in mind, your goal is to get ungated in everything. So you want to just list items that you can make profit on, and typically it's going to be books. So don't feel like you have to jump in head first. We're selling one book. This is the rank. It's under 1 million, and this is actually a pretty good book. It's 7 new are listed for $17.75 plus $3.99 shipping, and the used, it's not as good. So what's interesting here is you always got to watch out for this. People are listing this for $4.98 plus $0 shipping. So they're probably going to, I'm going to have to pay $3, about $3 to ship this item using media mail. So if I pay $3 to ship this item, the actual fee that Amazon's going to charge me is going to be about $2.75. So that's $5.75 in cost if I got this book for free. So let's say I bought the book for $1. I'm going to have to pay let's say $3 to Amazon for the sale of this book. That's $4 total. And then I'm going to have to pay shipping is $3. So that's $7 total cost of this item to me. And I'm going to make $4.98 in return. That's not a good sale if it's a used book. So that's the way you kind of justify when you scan new books or you scan items. You scan it in. You can actually use the app, and I'll show you guys the app in just a minute when you're out at the store. And if you're not going to make profit of at least $2 or $3, skip that item. If you've got it in your house, now let's say I had this in my house, it was perfectly free, or free now because it's just sitting in my house, and it's brand new, never read it, and not using it. So I could list this as new, and I'm going to make $15 profit, right? So huge win on new items or potential used items. There's other books. Obviously, you may have a couple books that are used in your house that are worth a lot more. So anyway, this SKU number right here, this is only whatever you want to put in here. I actually have a very complicated system. So I'm going to actually show you, I'm going to copy this over and show you guys what that looks like. So it's book, and this is the 621st book that I've sold or listed. This is the date that I'm listing it. It's one book or $1. There was one of those books, and I only have one for sale. There's one in the listing, and there's only one for sale. And then AZ4 is the location. And that AZ4 is just a bin that I've got that I'm putting the books into. So let's say we're selling this for new. So you want to try to beat out the next closest person. So we're going to go, I personally say 1 penny. A lot of people will tell you don't list things for 1 penny under. Guess what? If you're not under the lowest price, you're never going to sell it most likely unless you have tons of positive feedback. So 1 is the quantity, and we're going to list it as new. And then I'm going to merchant fulfill this. This is not going to FBA. I'm not shipping this into Amazon because that adds costs and adds complexity when you're first getting started. And then you hit save and finish, and it lists your book and throws it out there. That's it. It's as simple as that. Now, once you guys really get into this, you want to go into advanced view. There's a lot of other stuff you can play with, but I'm going to be honest with you. I wouldn't play with that at all. Now, I did miss one thing. Let's jump back and let me show you guys. We need to go up here in the top right. You need to go to shipping settings, and we need to set up an individual shipping template. So the first thing we're going to do is it actually has a default template that it starts with, and I believe this is pretty close to what it starts out with. Me being in the United States, for book sales, I named this default book template, and let's actually hit edit template so you can actually see what it looks like when you're editing. Default book template. Rate model, I left this as per item because typically you're typically not going to have a lot of people buying a bunch of items from you specifically unless they buy 10 of an item or something like that. So I left all this, we're trying to keep it real simple. Let's leave all this alone up top, and I'm allowing street and PO boxes, and then 5 to 8 days. I think this was the default for standard shipping. I'm not doing free shipping. I want to make sure, I want to calculate the shipping at a specific rate for every item. So 5 to 8 days and $3.99 per order, and then $0 for by the pound. So I could, if you have a heavy item, you could actually add a different shipping template and add a weight per $1 per item and $1 per weight. The $1 per item would be up here, and then the $1 per weight would be here. So anyway, I live in Tennessee, so the first section is all the other states, 5 to 8 days, $3.99. My average media mail cost is actually $3. So I'm actually mentally keeping in mind every item I sell, I'm going to make about $1 profit off the shipping, unless it's a really heavy book. Tennessee sales are $3.99 again. Same thing. I'm still going to make about $1, but the shipping time is going to be a lot less because to get from one, I'm in Central Tennessee, to get to the other areas of Tennessee is not going to take that long, even for media mail, which is the standard shipping rate. Alaska, Hawaii, and Puerto Rico, I actually bumped this up to 7 to 14 days. I'm not tremendously excited about selling a lot of stuff to those areas right now because I want to keep my sales, my costs as minimal as possible. And I'm not 100% sure. Sometimes I know when you go to Hawaii and Alaska, those shipping rates can get drastically out of whack. So I put those at $5.99 plus $2 per pound. So I haven't sold any to those areas yet, but I'm going to kind of keep an eye out. I may reduce that a little bit as I get more and more sales, just to quantify the actual cost of shipping to those areas. And then I also added expedited shipping option, 1 to 3 days. $7.99 is kind of your standard priority mail shipping rate. Most of my books will fit in a padded bubble mailer. Um, Let me grab one. So this is not the actual USPS padded bubble mailer. This is an eBay one, but this is very similar in size. Almost all my books will fit inside of these bubble mailers. So what I do is $7.99. The average price of that bubble mailer, I think, is like $7.90 to $8.15. So that's why I put $7.99 there, and then I threw a $2.50 per pound addition on that. And I've actually had people use this. So let's say you buy it on a Saturday and you want to get it in 2 to 3 days, they may buy it and pay the expedited shipping. So I've sold probably a dozen books that way. I've been very surprised. So I'm usually making a couple dollars profit on that. But when I do get those expedited orders, I make sure to throw them in a bubble mailer and get them out the door quickly. All right, so let's scroll down here. International shipping. If you only are shipping in the US, you only have set up Amazon US, you don't have to worry about this. But I did throw Canada on mine, and I put the shipping rate at $12.99 plus $3 per pound. I'm probably not going to sell any books to Canada right now. That's a pretty expensive cost rate. Now, if I find a really good book that, and I've got my price really low, that somebody may buy it. But I'm trying to keep it simple. So if somebody really wants one of my books and I'm the only seller of that book, then they'll buy it. But right now I'm trying to keep my sales in a specific price range, and also reduce the complexity. That's the deal about being a beginner Amazon seller. Reduce the complexity. So if somebody wants to pay the extra money, I'll spend the extra 10 minutes to figure out how to ship that item to them in Canada. All right, so that's the shipping template. That's what you want to set up prior to doing the listing. So um, I've shown you how to do a listing real quick. Let's go back and let's add a product again, and that way you guys can actually see. Let's just do Wheat Belly, which is a book that I recently sold a bunch of. There we go. So we're going to say new. We're going to sell that product. We're going to enter our SKU, our personal SKU information that we have. Let's see, this book is selling for nothing at all. You don't want to sell this book. 99 cents. So we're going to go 98 cents. I would not ever do that. I would keep your minimum price no less than $3. So if you've got a book that's less than $3, if you want to make money, don't list that book, because your Amazon fee is going to be around $3 to sell that book. So don't do it. So let's see here. We'll just continue with it just so you guys can see. And then what I was telling you guys about this advanced view. So if you click on that, now you can kind of scroll down, and somewhere in here is my shipping template. Let's find shipping. I don't typically do the advanced tab because it gets super complicated. All right, here's my default book template. So this is the one it picks for all my sales because I set it up as the default template, and the name of it is default book template. All my books, which is 99% of my listings, will use this template. So everybody that sees my listings knows that my book cost is 98 cents and my shipping is $3.99. All right, so I'm going to back out of this because I can tell you this is where the stuff can get super complicated. You can add a lot of other detail to your listings, but this is the simple thing. I list it, throw my, and I know all mine are going to be fulfilled by merchant, and my template is defaulted to the book template. All I got to do is those 4 fields and hit list, and that's simple. All right, so let's see here. So now we're going to go to manage price. So guys, after you've listed an item or a bunch of items, you want to go out and go to Amazon Seller Central. Let's start out at the beginning. And a lot of times Amazon will actually tell you here, right here in the top left area, that you are been outmatched on your price. So you want to come down here and try to look at these different, what they've offered it at. You can enter that information in here and hit update price, or and you can go through all your books and change those prices. I suggest you just go to inventory, manage inventory, and this is a list of all your books or all your items. Click on active right there. And then what I personally like to do is I typically like to sort by price. I'm not going to do that right now. I just wanted you to see this right here. So I am the lowest price on this one book right here, but this one here I'm not. Somebody's got it $6.99 plus $3.99 shipping. The buy box price, which is if I had sent it into Amazon or I've sold enough items, if you're buy box eligible, you would be competing against both of these prices. So what I want to do, this is the setting your prices throughout the day. Now, I'm going to warn you, there's a lot of people, the pros are using repricers, and those repricers will change within minutes a lot of times of you changing your price. But if your price is too high, you're almost never going to sell it. So I come in here and do this occasionally. I do have some repricers that I'm starting to use. So, but from the beginning, you got 5 books for sale. You don't want to pay extra money for a repricer. So $6.98, and you can change all the ones on the page and hit save all, or you can hit save individually on each line item. So I'm going to hit save right there. Now I might actually win the buy box on that one, and I'm going to tell you guys this later in the video how I ended up started getting buy box eligible. When you first start, at least the first 30 days, most likely, you're not going to see buy box eligible. These are all going to be no. So anyway, let's go to another one here. Let's change this price to $20.77 and hit save. Simple as that. So you want to come in throughout the day, check your prices, and see if you are the lowest price. Let's refresh. Let's go to manage inventory again, and let's click active. Now it takes up to 15 minutes sometimes for those prices to update. So you see it changed my price right back to what I had. So don't go change those again. Do it every once in a while, maybe every hour or so, just to kind of get started. As you can see, you can end up doing a lot of editing. So on this first page, I got 1, 2, 3, 4, and then I've got several 5. So I've got a bunch that I'm not the cheapest price. So that can end up being a lot of maintenance. And what I would suggest you guys do is check out a couple different options. There's BeCool.com, which I personally have been testing and do not care for. And then there's Repriceit.com. I'm probably going to go with Repriceit because it's a little simpler interface and it's got some options that I like better. So once you set those up, I'm not going to go into all the detail in this video for that because this is a beginner video. Once you set up one of those, there is a monthly fee, and it will reprice for you on a scheduled basis by whatever penny or 2 pennies or 10 cents that you want to do every hour, every half hour, whatever you set it up to do. So as you get into this further, you want to check those out. Okay, so now the big key thing is to add a lot more items. So let's say you've got 5 books listed and you find that your sister or your brother or your mom and dad have a bunch of books they don't want anymore. Grab those books. If they give them to you for free, 0 cost. We're staying 0 cost. Get those things listed and get them out there. All right, so now one of the cool things that I actually think you guys should do is you should go and download the app on your phone. So I'm going to show you guys a couple pictures on the screen here of what that looks like. When you go to the actual app, it will actually bring up your Seller Central, and there's a little what they call hamburger menu in the top left. You hit that and you hit home, and you can actually see all kinds of cool stuff. You can actually see your sales chart. If you turn it sideways, if you turn it up and down, you can see your how much you sold today, how many items you've got, how many orders are listed. to go out and then manage orders kind of there in the middle. So when you're going to pick inventory, I actually use this. I hit manage orders and it shows me all my items that have been ordered, and I kind of tap on it so I can get a visual. Tap on one of the items and look at the picture. You can actually see a little small image of it, and then you can go pick that item. So um, you want to use the app as you scale up because the app is free. You can also reprice in the app, but it's extremely slow. You got to tap on one item at a time, change the price. Doing it in the computer interface is a lot faster. So, all right. So now the next thing that you want to keep an eye out for as you level up your business, there you can get a free, I think it's 15 or 30-day demo of an app called Scout IQ. And I'm going to show you guys what that looks like. I'll throw a picture on the screen of what that looks like. You will take that and it'll show you, it'll give you this little, I'll throw another image of what it looks like. And what it does is you want to take that Scout IQ app and you're using it for free for 30 days. Do not pay any money for it yet. You're testing out if you're going to get into Amazon. And you use that little scanner and you scan that item there, and it does a live lookup. You want to use the live lookup, and it will actually throw the price of that item onto your it'll kind of use some built-in logic to say yes, you can make money, no, you can't make money. Now I'm not going to do a whole Scout IQ walkthrough on this either, on this video either, because there's a lot of detail there that we really want to get into in a full video for that. But if you go to scoutiq.com, here's the live only, which means you actually have to have a cell phone signal in order for it to send to Amazon to see what the prices are. The monthly is $10. That's what I'm using right now. I did test in my demo period. I tested with the full database. Really, it was faster, but it was not. It's just too much money. So if you do live database, you see the price here, $44 a month, and I can't do that right now. I'm not selling that many books to make it worth it. So for me, it's like an extra second each scan, so it's not a huge deal. The places I'm going to have cell phone signal. If I find that I start getting bigger and bigger and bigger and going into areas that are in big metal buildings and that kind of stuff, and you can't scan things, then sure, you need to start looking at downloading the live database. But I will warn you, you have to download that database before you go to those places, because if you go to the place, you don't have the database downloaded on your phone, then the app's worthless or next to worthless. It's going to be a little out of date. Okay, so that said, you can look at this to speed up your scanning and finding profitability as you level up your business. Okay, so now the next thing I want to talk to you guys is let's go here. Let's bring me back into the picture here. So the next thing I want to talk to you guys about is kind of your sales milestones. And I've seen a lot of people post different stuff. Nobody really truly knows, I don't think, what those milestones are to get ungated. You want to get ungated. Now I'm going to jump and show you guys a little clip that I did on how to do, how I got ungated on some things, how I just tested out some things. So I'm going to do that right now, and then I'll come right back. So as you guys can see, I am, I actually just tried this. I didn't think it would work. I searched for Play-Doh. I actually bought some Play-Doh at Walgreens on clearance the other day, and I knew I would probably run into the issue of it showing up as a toy as well as a Play-Doh name brand. And sure enough, as you come down here, when I was clicking on these to click apply to sell, it was actually showing toys and Play-Doh as needing to be requested. And what I did is I thought, well, heck, let me just keep looking at all these different things and see what the variations, see if I can find one that just says Play-Doh. And sure enough, I was looking down through here, and one of these guys, when I hit apply to sell, the option was just Play-Doh. So I actually clicked on it, and I'm now approved to sell Play-Doh, but I'm still not approved to sell toys. So now this is a little weird situation. At some point, I'm sure I'm going to come across things where if I do enough of those, and keep in mind, I have about 100 sales, successful sales, and I have 2 positive feedback, 2 5-star feedbacks. So I don't have a whole lot, but I would imagine I've been finding these things randomly. I've just been trying random things to see if I could find just the right number of variations to where if you click apply to sell, look at what the requirements are, and if it's always toys and something else, try to find that item, that something else, and see if you can get enough approvals. At some point, maybe toys will open up for you and unlock. Or if you find an item that is only listed like Play-Doh, if it's only listed as Play-Doh and not as toys, you could actually sell that item. So, keep trying. You don't actually have to own the items to come out here and apply to sell. I've done this probably 50 times now where I've gone in and I found a couple items. I was like, well, if I ever want to sell that, it'd be cool if I knew if I could sell it. So I've gone ahead and tried to find a bunch of those. Okay, so as you guys can see, I showed you how I've gotten ungated on some things, and I can tell you, until you make some sales, you're probably not going to be able to do those things I just showed you. You might get lucky, you might get some that ungate you immediately, but as you sell more and more things, and as you have at least some positive feedback, I've only got 2 positive feedback, and I've been at this for almost 2 months now, which is weird. So people don't leave feedback. It's not nearly like eBay. So as you level up, I noticed when I hit 1,000 in gross sales, which was just about 5 days ago, my sales went out the roof. And let me actually show you guys. I'll throw a picture on the screen. You can see for daily sales were, doing okay. I was actually very happy with the sales. And then all of a sudden, when I went over that 1,000 sales marker, my sales went out the roof and I had no idea. I didn't realize it. And I was like, why am I? It was like overnight. I had 22 sales in one night. The next day I had 25. The next day I had 30 something. So it's taken off. And what I found out is at that 1,000 gross sale mark, without any major negative feedback, I did have to cancel one order that I messed up on. The book was damaged. So I canceled an order, but I still hit that 1,000. I became buy box eligible, it looks like. So once I'm guessing that maybe at $1,000 you become buy box eligible, and that was within, it's probably been 45 days. So it's not been 90 days like a lot of people say. I think it's actually a gross dollar range. So from what I'm hearing, at $2,000 you become unlimited or potentially ungated in a lot of other areas. I won't say unlimited, but I'm going to keep testing that. So as you guys saw in that other little clip, I did get ungated in several things. And as I've sold more and more things, I'm finding that I'm getting ungated in things that I was not previously able to get ungated in. I think I may have shown Play-Doh. I was able to get ungated in Hallmark. The other day I just searched for Hallmark and I couldn't sell in it. It was a couple weeks ago. And then yesterday I just went to Hallmark, searched Hallmark ad product. I was gated. I hit request approval, and bam, it gave it to me immediately without even asking for any proof of purchase. So, but anyway, so as you guys know, like I said, the key thing is sell books, because the books are going to be the thing that you're not gated in. There are some specialty books that you will be listed as you can't sell in. And I've got a whole stack of them over here. So I'll show you guys one of them. This one's called Finishing Well, and the Zondervan. So you'll be gated in Zondervan when you start out. You have to get a approval from Zondervan. There's a lot of companies like that. A lot of textbooks potentially and specialty books will be gated. So I would start with just your regular old novels that you have around the house, or something you pick up for super cheap at Goodwill. Try to get those listed, and as you level up, guys, keep coming back, and I'll show you more and more of how I get to where how I get further in this Amazon game, and show you guys what I've learned. So hopefully you guys enjoy it. As I said earlier in the video, you got to leave me a comment. Let me know what you think about the video, questions you have, things you want to know in future videos. Throw me a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button. As always, guys, be blessed, and I'll see you in the next one.